Welcome to Fourth Ram and Goal, where shitty games don't get remembered, but legends never die. Welcome to Fourth Ram and Goal. I'm your host, Kurt, and I've got my co-host, Dick here.
What's up, Drammers?
Joining you in your man cave again, once again, to talk whiskey, talk sports, grab a glass, fill it up, take a listen. Let's get into this. We want to talk about our two passions, as we've said before in every episode. Whiskey, everyday man whiskey, special whiskey, delicious whiskey, whiskey. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. Today, obviously, is a big day. It is the Monday after our Super Bowl that we had last night, so that's going to be a big portion of the show today. And we're also going to get into some whiskey. We're going to talk 5 whiskeys that you need to have in your bar, your cabinet, your garage, your hidden dresser from your wife, things like that. Dick, say what's up to the Drammers and lay out the socials.
Hey, appreciate the introduction, Kurt. And you might be asking yourself, why are we talking about 5 whiskeys you need to have in your bar? Well,
why the fuck are we?
It's because it's the death of the football season as we know it. We finally got through this one, and we're going to need something to tide us over through the rest of the year until August. So we're going to tell you what you got to keep in rotation. But to Kurt's point, I'm going to hit you with a couple administrative things, guys. I know you're already listening to us. We appreciate you and our loyal fan base. Please remember to visit us up on our website. It's fourthramandgoal.com. We've also got our Instagram and Twitter, Fourth Ram. We recently hit 150 followers, which is a huge milestone for us. Shout out to everybody following us. We really appreciate your support. And don't be afraid to rank and review us on your favorite podcast streaming service, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, Overcast, or Castbox. And then ultimately, tell your friends about us. We want to grow the show. Word of mouth is still the best way to get people to listen to us. So whether you think we're two goofy bastards who don't know what the fuck we're talking about and make you laugh every once in a while, or you really worship the ground we walk on, probably unlikely, tell people about us. We can take the criticism, we can take the heat, we can take the feedback.
And I need to mention this, because if you do listen to us, okay, maybe if you don't listen to us, but if you at least like something on our Instagram, you are joining a very special crowd that now includes a 4-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. And I'm getting chills just saying that.
Who are we talking about?
We are talking about the Terry frickin' Bradshaw.
TFB.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you go to our Instagram, you'll notice on a certain picture a couple days ago that my boy Dick here posted after his wonderful bottle kill of the Bradshaw bourbon, that the man, the myth, the legend, Terry Bradshaw liked it. That's it. I can retire. I'm done. Walking off the stage.
We hit our goals. We hit our 401k max out. We're done.
That was pretty awesome, though.
It was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I texted Kurt. I was like, holy fucking shit. Terry Bradshaw liked our photo. And he's like, I have a boner now. So it's great.
We're best friends. Me and Terry Bradshaw are best friends.
2 best friends that anyone could have.
I've interacted more with Terry Bradshaw than you have. I can say that. I can officially say that. Anyway, so that was special. Moving on. All right, we've got I won't say controversial. I'll say the thing right now. The in thing. Can I get my hands on it? I may not know anything about it, but I've heard about it and
but
I want to get my hands
allocated.
on it.
It's the hype.
It's
the hype. But the hype is driving this thing into the corners of the universe, and you can't find it anymore.
And it's American, damn it. That's what it is.
Yeah, nothing more American than this bottle.
We've got the one, the only, the 10-year-old, the Buffalo Trace product, Eagle, Rare Bourbon.
Amen to that, man. I think this is the 20-year, right? This is the 20-year that costs like $24,000 a bottle or something like that.
That is not the case.
Oh,
we do not have
my
that.
bad. Yeah.
We have the 10-year-old that I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen on a shelf in about 2 months.
And I'm also not going to lie. I have had 3 bottles in the last 6 months. One, my friend bought for me online and had it shipped to my house. Another one, I only picked...
What was the name of that website?
I don't remember which it was.
The one that was posted on the streaker's chest last night during the Super Bowl?
I don't think it was that one. I think it was the one that was tattooed on his ass. That's
okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught the little moon show there, but it was pretty nice.
Got it. I was not looking at his ass, but continue.
We'll get into that. And then the other one I only picked up at a Twin Liquors when I went to go get that Old Forester for you. They had essentially a sale, and they had 10 sitting on the shelf. Grabbed one and grabbed a single barrel, small boy. And then the last one I actually picked up at Specs based off a tip my buddy gave me.
I did notice that my local Facebook bourbon pages were blowing up with Eagle Rare. Apparently they did get a shipment in recently. But, of course, by the time I get out of work, gone.
I am blessed from the standpoint that if I need to take a 2 o'clock lunch break, I can go to grab one. So it's always nice.
Must be nice in the porn industry. All right. Well...
We slang it over here.
So, yep. That's in our glass. I'm interested. I've told you this. I've had Eagle Rare on occasion. I have not had it enough recently to give you a lot of feedback on it, so I'm interested in tonight's episode. It's been a very long time, so this is going to be a pretty good review, unlike you, who probably has a very good idea of what you think of this bottle already.
I drink Eagle Rare regularly. It is one of those that if I see it, I grab it. If I have 5 at the house, I still grab one because this for me is one of those that I typically don't drink the first bottle until I have a backup to my backup.
You just be sure that you put in a sweet caw throughout the show occasionally for me, all right?
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
If you can find a Falcon or something, we'll settle for that. We are bougie over here.
Bad and bougie. All right, so we're drinking some Eagle Rare. No better way, I think, really to celebrate the Americana that is the Super Bowl. And I think that is a very good segue into our headlines and our second dram as we pour that. The Chiefs, the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl. I think we both did not see that coming.
I did. Fuck that.
You fucking picked the Chiefs.
Yeah, I know, but that was the last episode. So.
Captain Hindsight.
Right before kickoff. No, that's what happened. If you told me the Chiefs were going to lose, I would say okay. I would be okay with that. If you told me the Chiefs were going to score 9 points, no touchdowns, that I would have a hard time believing. But it happened.
Everybody in America would have. I don't think anybody saw that coming, except for Mattress Mac.
Oh, shit. He makes things exciting around here.
What did he drop? $4.3 million on that game?
H-Town. Hold it down, baby. 3.2, I believe. But that wasn't the cool part. Did you hear about the sale that was going on here in Houston? This is what he did. If you bought a $3,000 Tempur-Pedic mattress and the Buccaneers won, it was free. That happened.
Shit.
Yes.
That's why he had to bet all that money.
And it was genius because
he's got to cover my losses here.
Right. Chiefs win. He's, people are going to buy a shitload of mattresses. He's pretty good probably.
Yeah.
Tampa wins. He paid for everybody's mattress, but he's probably still sitting pretty right now.
Mattress Mac is a hell of a guy. Like, if you're in the Houston area and you don't know who he is, learn about it. Hurricane Harvey... he opened up when Joel Osteen wouldn't let people in the church, he opened up his mattress warehouse and people were able to sleep and lay on brand new mattresses, and he paid for all of them. Like, he was a hell of a guy.
I have to check the Joel Osteen correlation. I don't know if that was because of that. I think he was doing that regardless, but I don't know.
No, it wasn't. Right. It wasn't. But Joel, for the point, like Joel Osteen, who is a minister, would not open his doors to let refugees in.
Jerome Bettis bust his ass, just threw him right under that for no reason. But anyway, yes, that was a big
I'm just stating facts. I'm just stating facts here. Mattress Mac is a hell of a dude and always has been. He holds it down in Houston.
Yes. But I haven't seen it yet. I think it's Vice. I think Vice has a documentary on him.
Oh shit!
I don't know if it's one. I don't know if it's like a full on episode or if it's one of those like it may be one of those just quick internet segments that they do like on their Facebook. Still,
he's a mattress salesman from Houston. The fact that he made it on there is amazing.
Yes, and I want to watch it.
All right, that's homework for us.
There's a lot of things on Vice from Houston. You got, of course, the rappers. They have I think they have a series on the guy who does the grills out here.
Is it called Chopped and Screwed?
It should be. Anyway, gotta throw love to the H since there's not a lot of love going on right now with the whole Deshaun Watson and sports meltdown. But anyway, let's not drink that much now. Back to the game at hand.
Before we go, I'll give you a little bit of solace. I was talking to my wife and I was like, hey, I was talking to Kurt in one of our episodes and we were talking about, possibly becoming Houston fans. And my wife looked at me and she goes, okay. I was like, oh, okay, we're just Texan fans now? And she's like, yeah, I have no love to the Cowboys, so okay. And I was like, all right, that's done.
Well, I don't know if either franchises are going to be having much to cheer about.
It's okay. We can suffer together.
That Dak thing is something that we're eventually going to have to talk about, but we won't today because, like I said, there's a big game.
Okay, so let's get past. But we'll talk about the game in more depth here. Just let's go to the next subject. We have a whole segment dedicated to the Super Bowl. All right, they were just our initial thoughts. NFL Hall of Fame got overshadowed by the Super Bowl. We had some great picks here. We had Calvin Johnson made it, Megatron. We called that out in one of our previous episodes.
I said and this was one of those when I heard the episode again, I was like, man, what the hell was I thinking? If you listen to our segment, I feel rushed, and I feel like I had to make a prediction there quick. Looking back on it, I don't know why the hell I said that. Calvin Johnson is absolutely a Hall of Famer, but let this be a lesson to you, America. You own up to your mistakes. Actually, cut that part out because I literally stole that from David Portnoy after the election. But yeah, I made that mistake. Don't know what I was thinking. Probably the fact that was like in the fourth ram area.
Well, you had a pretty good argument for him not being selected too.
I did, but you had to go back. Barry had the short career, but even Barry was like second all-time rushing. And even when they showed, now see, here I go, my brain's going to start working again. I think the one stat that they showed was like he was second all-time in receiving yards per game. So that is one of those stats where longevity is not going to be necessary. Right. But I guess you have to do because Jim Brown too. Jim Brown didn't have a very long career, right? I guess this is one of those things like what he did on the field when he was out there. I guess that's what they went with, and if you're doing that, then yes, absolutely, Calvin Johnson makes it. So I will put up the flag saying I was wrong. Wrong.
You heard it here first. Peyton Manning, we knew that was going to happen. Charles Woodson was a no-brainer. John Lynch, we didn't even talk about him.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to be there, and he's the one that kind of gives me, hope for Zach Thomas. Zach Thomas, obviously, being the tech guy. I think that he'll eventually get in. I think he'll be a couple years down the road because I think I didn't realize how long it had been. It's either 9 years since he retired or 9 years of eligibility, meaning that he would have retired like 14 years ago. I feel like John Lynch wasn't that long ago.
It doesn't feel like it, but he was, man. I mean, We always go back to it. I mean, we're playing Madden 21 right now. I think John Lynch was on Madden 2009. I don't know. Like, it was a long time ago. I don't know. I'm just making that shit up as I go.
That's a horrible example, but okay.
But it doesn't feel like it was that long, though. And here's something else. I want to hit one other headline before we get out, after we get out of this. Tom Flores, man. Coors had an entire ad campaign to get him in there. I love it. I love they pushed for him for the right reasons, and now Tom Flores is in there.
I mean, did you see the Al Davis special?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So it's a little. They did that thing where they take the CGI face and they put it on, actors now.
Yeah.
So they had an Al Davis and a
Tom Flores.
No,
John
he's
Madden.
still alive. You're telling me people that are alive.
I don't know.
So they had Al Davis and they had Pete Rozelle. They had them interviewed now, and they basically put their faces on actors now.
That's weird.
Little weird.
Yeah.
The director explained it at the beginning, but still, it was a pretty good documentary. And then you're watching that like, gee, why didn't Tom Flores make the Hall of Fame sooner? But he was like in that, they have it broken up into categories, right? He was the old guy category. Charles Woodson, he was a no-brainer. I love Charles Woodson. Favorite defensive player all time. Gets the nod on me over Dion just because I got to see all of Charles Woodson's career. I don't remember early like Falcons Dion. That was too young for me. Calvin Johnson, John Lynch, Alan Finica, a lineman getting some love for the Steelers. Definitely deserves it if you look at his accolades. Peyton Manning, I just like the way he had the orange blazer on at the Super Bowl. Is that a shot at the Colts?
Maybe.
Okay. Drew Pearson, he's another head scratcher. Why hasn't he was the one that was like in the old dude category. Tom Flores was in the head coaching category. Bill Nunn, as a contributor, part of the Steelers organization for years and years, like 40 years or something, started off as a scout, absolutely deserved it. And I believe that is everyone. So, I hate to do this, but who was your favorite pick out of everyone?
I'm going to have to go with Megatron, man. I really enjoyed watching him when growing up. I think he was playing his best ball at, like, the height of, when I was the most interested in watching like every game, right? Megatron made me watch the Lions.
You watched the Lions?
To watch Megatron and Stafford, yeah.
That's tough.
Dude, Stafford throws the deep ball well.
I always think of, because we're going to talk about Super Bowl commercials, but when I hear of Detroit, I always think of the Clint Eastwood Chrysler commercial. It's time to wake up, America.
Is that when the big three were having their like recession?
Sure, maybe. But I just remember him walking in the tunnel.
Vaguely.
You know who kicked ass? Detroit. They came back. Anyway, they do a reenactment on SNL, and it's freaking hilarious. But yeah, that's what I think of when I think of Detroit. My favorite, since you're asking.
I knew you were going to go there anyway, so I didn't have to ask.
It was the Charles Woodson. Love Charles Woodson, man. Back to his days at Michigan.
Dude was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
So, you bring up Michigan. I think it's a good transition to the one thing I hadn't put on the script yet, or the one thing I hadn't put on our notes yet. NCAA football is coming back. Did you play it? Do you play Madden? Did you in the past? Is this a big deal to you?
It's a big deal down memory lane.
Yes.
It's not a big deal like life is going to be able to stop. You know, I'll be able to just play it all day like I did in college and and everything. I think I missed my window on that. But it's exciting to go back down memory lane. NCAA. I was just talking to a buddy the other day. You know, we were going to Walmart at midnight the day it was released to get the one.
The 14?
Get the one with
Deshawn Robinson on it?
No. This was, dude, that was like 6 years ago. No, this was in high school. This is when the Boise State quarterback Zabransky was on the cover. You know, Mr. Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
So it was a while ago. Who doesn't have an NCAA memory? You know,
building the dynasty with like Army.
That's my first. That dude. That was my. What was the randomest dynasty that you won with?
Army.
Really? I could see that from you.
I loved the West Point black and gold. I was a huge like TU fan back then, so like I did a lot of Texas dynasties. I don't know, man. I kind of kept it as like a homer. Like I usually stayed close, and then you could create your own college back in the day. That was kind of fucking cool.
That I never did.
No, I did all that
shit. There is a dynasty, a San Jose State dynasty that will never get known, and it's a shame because it's the greatest dynasty in college football.
I'm surprised you didn't pick San Diego State. The Aztecs, those are much better colors than red.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I did all of them, but the one that sticks out is I did the San Diego State Spartans, and it was beautiful. Alma mater, home of Jeff Garcia.
I was more of a Chico State kind of guy.
Chico State. So I don't know. I don't know if they got. I'm assuming that they're gonna have to be like, nobody can look like a fucking player on a like.
So they're doing some. There's
what
a couple,
are they doing?
They're not. It's not all disclosed yet, but there's some understandings that have already been kind of put out there from EA.
I'm assuming there can't be like a 6'3" quarterback at Texas who wears number 11 from Austin named Wham Bellinger on the team. I'm assuming they can't do that.
Yes, that is one of the things we're running into. But if some of the legislation that passes to them to allow to compensate players that I think is being pushed through in like California right now, it might kind of set a precedent where the NCAA will have to fold on that.
It'll get to Texas in 20 years. Cool. Got it. Okay. No, it is exciting. That's exciting. Maybe it's one of those things that I buy. Maybe the kids are asleep. Maybe my work's done. Maybe I throw it on and I don't sleep that night. I play for 8 hours. I don't know. Who knows?
Right. Good old days. All right.
Let's get into this.
Yeah, dude.
Eagle. I'm going to try to use Sam Elliott's voice every time I say it. Eagle Rare. Nailed it. Actually, I sounded like the Budweiser frogs.
You did sound like the Budweiser frogs.
All right,
so I'm going to go first on this. Nose, like right off the bat, vanilla, honey, little bit of cinnamon spice there. Nothing too aggressive. I think this is like so buttery. You talk about bourbon butter.
Mm-hmm.
It's viscous. It's deliciousness. What about you, man? You typically have the better nose than I do, so.
Well, yeah, because it's a big freaking schnoz.
Butterscotch.
Okay, so going into this, I've got to know that this is a $40 decent bottle of Buffalo Trace juice for me. So
this was $28.99.
Okay, even better. Do I want to go against the hype? I'm battling that. I'm trying to beat the hype.
But if you can find it on the shelf for $30, let's play that right here.
$30.
$30. Fuck the hype. This is you found it on the shelf for $30.
Well, let me get to that part of the show, Dick.
Okay, my bad.
Let me just start. Jeez, buy me an appetizer first. So I'm going to get specific here.
Trying to raw dog you in the coat room.
This is not chocolate raisins. This is white chocolate raisins on the nose.
I get that.
White chocolate raisins. You can absolutely tell that this is a Buffalo Trace product. All the goodies are there. Vanilla. And I hate to sound like but that's what you're going to get. You're going to get vanilla with Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, I agree.
I got raisins, then I was like, wait a second, that's a little bit of... That's coated with something, and not just regular chocolate. That's white chocolate. Floral notes.
I thought you were talking about me there for a second.
Floral notes?
No, white chocolate.
You wish. Yeah, that is a solid nose, man.
So, grade this thing. What's the nose on this?
That's an A. That's a traditional, and you know that even you give me the traditional bourbon notes, you're gonna win me over some already, and that's what you're getting with this. So I'm battling hype, but I'm battling my love and affection for BTAC. I'm sorry, for Buffalo Trace.
No, I wish we had the BTAC, the 17-year.
That would be nice.
Although I heard 2020s wasn't that great.
I would still take it.
I would still buy it too. If you got a bottle out there, send it to us. We'll drink it and review it.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with that. I'm going to give it an A.
You know, Kurt, on that, I really can't argue with you. You know I love Eagle Rare. It is one of my things I always keep. I'm going to give it an A as well.
It's going to get bonus points just for the logo.
It does have a sick bottle.
Yeah. You made a lamp out of it, didn't you?
Yeah. And then I repurposed that lamp. I still have it. I just got to rebuild it.
Nice.
The newer thing I did with that same bottle, I made a take those LED lights that are on like metal, like the little, you put them in like wine bottles and stuff like that, and I did it for one of these. It came out pretty cool.
Nice.
I'm real fancy.
The Tim Allen of the bourbon world.
Basically. All right, so third dram, man. Let's get into it. Super Bowl. It's the entire segment. Super Bowl. Anything Super Bowl. What do you want to talk about first? Yeah, what do you want to talk about first?
Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. He already was. There's nothing else to say about that.
8.
Moving on.
Is 8 ever achievable for Mahomes? That's what it takes to beat him.
No.
Is 7.
No.
This closed the door, nailed it shut. There's no chance in beating him or catching him.
I think he could have got 2, and he still wouldn't. He'd still. It's not. It's
1 versus 7 versus 2 versus 6 is a big difference.
Yeah, but there's one Tom Brady. There's a lot of Joe Montanas. There's a lot of. I'd say
those are fighting words, man.
No, there's a group in the Joe Montana 4 category is what I'm saying. There's Bradshaw, Montana. So I sound stupid. There's not a bunch. There's Joe Montana. There's Bradshaw at 4. And then you get Aikman.
You get a bunch of 2s.
Right. I definitely think he can get to 2. But you saw how difficult. You saw how good they were this year, and they didn't get it. It's very hard to repeat. I've said that before. That was the thing going against them. It's hard to repeat.
Mm-hmm.
But you just don't picture somebody doing what Tom Brady does. So if you had told me, will Mahomes get 4? I'm like, yeah, maybe. But I've never thought it's 5, 6, 7, because there's no other Tom Bradys.
Tom Brady now has more Super Bowls than any NFL franchise.
Yeah, and now he takes Mahomes is definitely. I said this in the last episode. He was the one that, he's going to hurt the most from this loss because he's just expected to be on this trajectory and this track where he's Mr. Nothing Go Wrong. So he's going to take a sting. Now, can the Chiefs keep the roster together and make it next year? Absolutely, and we'll get into that later.
Most of them are already on contract. So
right. But I just never saw. I didn't see Mahomes. I saw Mahomes being great.
My thoughts here are, if there was a chance for him to catch him, he had to win this game. If there was a chance. I think when you talk about 1 versus 7, that's a much larger road. And Tom didn't even win one after the first 3 for 6 years? He had this huge gap. And then he won 3 out of the next 4 years, and then
right.
So
and that's unfat. You can't even imagine that happening.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. It's because he's played till he's 43 years old. I don't know if Mahomes will play till he's 43. Why would he?
To play like he did the other night?
Well, but let's talk about that. That's where I want to go. None of this is on Mahomes. I don't think Mahomes played bad.
No.
I saw a stat that ESPN tracked him. He ran 500 yards scrambling around. That's insane.
So, I texted you. I said the 2 biggest things that people are gonna, they're gonna talk about it, but it wasn't talked about as much as it should have.
I listened to a few today, and I agree with you.
Yeah, they didn't talk about it as much as it should be. The 2 hurt linemen.
That's the storyline, man.
Yeah,
people want to throw the flags. They knew what they were getting into. We know KC is a handsy defense. It's okay. That's how they play. They could have overcome a couple of those.
Even then, I think the only bad one was the one on
Matthew.
No, because if you went back to it, he got in Brady's face first. Oh, are you talking about the pass interference?
The pass interference, yeah.
I'm talking about the uncatchable throw that they called pass interference.
On the Mike Evans
zone. Oh. Yes, that ball it hit the wall in the back. That was the only one where I was like, oh, that was a bad call.
Well, the one where Mike Evans got his feet tangled up. They got their feet tangled up, and they're like, "Oh, then he hit him." No, he didn't. He didn't.
No, that was a bad call.
They were both falling. That was
right. He kind of fell after a couple strides.
We would agree that there were 2 bad PI calls. That's not enough to make a 31-9 difference.
No, the other thing, the hurt lineman, the lack of star power from the Chiefs. Where was Tyreek Hill? Where was Travis Kelce? Which goes back to the Tampa Bay just running a hell of a defense. they have those dirty linebackers that took care of everything underneath, and they had the safeties up top, like, you're not going to beat us deep. The rookie who did the piece. They did a hell of a job. And that's what my two takeaways was: the hurt line, the lack of star power, and, Brady.
And I think my two takeaways are, I agree with you on the hurt lineman, but I can't give Mahomes enough credit. He has to be given the credit. He played his heart out. He played harder than anybody on that field, in my opinion. The fact that he hit Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce in the face with the ball scrambling, and they didn't catch it. That one, they show a picture. He literally releasing it, and he's vertical with the ground, and that ball went 30 yards and smacked Tyreek Hill right in the forehead.
I don't think that was Tyreek Hill.
Whatever, Harmon or one of them hit him straight in the forehead, and it bounced off. How?
There were some key drops, but also you can't take away. I mean, they got 9 pretty quick, right? Or was it was 6?
It was 6. They got 6 pretty quick.
Okay, so field goals are not touchdowns.
They're not.
And you can't get into that game with an offense like Tampa, 21 instead of 9. Obviously, it's very simple to say, but that would have been a lot better. And they just came back to the Tampa Bay defense. It was a heck of a game by them.
Yeah, and Leonard Fournette, I texted you. I thought he had a hell of a night. I don't think he got enough credit.
He did not. No, he did.
He did.
He had like 67 yards rushing when you texted me. Yeah, but like 15 yards casting. That's okay.
But in the Super Bowl, when you really look at what he was doing and he was playing a role, he was running over KC's defense when they needed him to. He was moving the downs, keeping the clock rolling.
You're giving a little bit. I think there was a lot of other highlights that.
I'm not saying it was a highlight. I'm just saying he played his role. Now, let's. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about someone else who played a role and just got 2 Super Bowl rings? Deshawn McCoy.
I saw that today. I did not know that.
Back-to-back Super Bowls, 2 different teams. Didn't play it down.
Good for him.
Right place, right time. You know what? Good for his agent. Props to his agent.
But it was the additions, man. It was Antonio Brown. Mm-hmm. It was Gronk. It was Brady.
Who would have thought Gronk would have scored 2 touchdowns?
No, I will say no. I'm just saying because I heard the interviews before, and somebody said it's going to be Gronk who's going to be a key factor in the game, and you're like, okay, well, he was. Two touchdowns. The first one could have been any other tight end, but it wasn't. It was
could
Gronk.
Have been me.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I could have got that
Hold
ball.
on.
Shut up.
But yeah, so. Good for Tampa Bay. Good job. Their management gets the nod. The win turned the franchise around after last year, having Jameis Winston. But
Bruce Arians pulling together with 3 black assistant coaches and 2 women on the staff. First ever.
Right. And good for Bruce Arians. I mean, he's another guy you got to root for. You got to love him.
I didn't at the beginning of the year. I remember us having conversations about him and Tom getting into it and where they're going to be able to do it and all this other stuff.
Well, he said it himself. He's like, I didn't do shit. So I mean, if you think about it, I mean, not to take away from Bruce Arians, but he said
he's humble.
That it's all Leftwich, which that could be him being humble.
Which is crazy. Like, you and I grew up watching Byron Leftwich play at Marshall. Like
getting carried up to the field when he was hurt and everything, yeah. And then you got Todd Bowles, who absolutely is going to get another job, another chance. There was actually a rumor I read that before the game, somebody said that if the Bucs won, Arians was like, "Deuce, I'm out. Let Todd take over." I don't think that's the case.
No, he said he was coming back.
Yeah, Arians said hell no to that. But Todd Bowles should eventually get another job. But yeah, he was like, I don't do anything. So, and he is being humble and downplaying the effect that he's had on that. Anyway, on to the Chiefs. Andy Reid.
So I want to before we go there, not to cut you off, but like Bruce Arians staying. I saw an interview, something about Mike Evans. Mike Evans basically saying, I want to keep this group together, even if you have to take some of my money to keep everybody else together. Like, they want to make another run. Like, that is some unselfish stuff. For Mike Evans, who arguably, he's an Aggie, but he's kind of been a selfish dude in the past.
I don't think he's been selfish. He's been playing in Tampa fucking Bay. I mean...
He had Jameis Winston throw him the ball. Yeah, maybe you're
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
He's like, throw me the fucking ball, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty nice when you get to just have one catch in the Super Bowl and you can rely on the other guys. I mean...
You don't have to carry the team. But let's talk about the Chiefs.
Chiefs will be back. Andy Reid was dealing with that whole situation with his son getting in the car crash.
Under the influence.
I don't know. I didn't read if that was a for sure thing.
He was. So he had been drinking, and then he was also on pain meds.
But wasn't he leaving the facility or something?
I don't know the answer to that, but there was a...
not that it's impossible to be like have a couple brewskis in the press box.
Sure.
That's not... But I'm just...
Well,
I don't know the situation. I don't know if he was leaving a practice. I don't know the time of day.
Yeah, it's a lot on Andy. I think we could both say that with everything that happened with his other son and this one. I mean, some people had said maybe that's why he kept him so close, like on the coaching staff as a linebacker coach, kind of keep an eye on him.
And even without that, he's his son, which any dad's going to want to,
for sure. But I think.
Go ahead.
No, I would say, but there are good examples of people doing that, but then letting your son kind of fly away into their own thing. I can't blame him. I feel for the other people in the car accident. There was a little girl that was in critical condition.
No, yeah, Rex Ryan got to me. He broke down in the morning show, and that got to me.
Rex Ryan broke down?
Yeah, that's exactly. Anybody who has kiddos, you're feeling that, and then to see somebody like Rex Ryan, we don't... Us as manly men, we don't cry when we see, like, a news anchor crying, your everyday news anchor, or if we're watching Frozen, we cry when we see The Rock cry or Rex Ryan cry. And damn it, if Chuck
Any
Norris
of the Ryan men
shed a tear, But no, it's serious note, like that got to you. But I think Andy Reid is such a professional. I don't think that had any effect on him. I think he's a professional to the point where he is human, but he's probably one of those that does a pretty good job at like, okay, it's game time.
Yeah,
let's stay
boxing
focused.
It out. And let's be honest. I mean, the game that they called, the offense they tried to run was pretty much shot to hell as soon as they snapped the ball because the offensive line was shit, and it was Patrick Mahomes running for his life. He's running for his life.
The screens weren't there. Nothing was there.
People dropping balls.
Sometimes Kelsey got underneath those two safeties that there was a decent catch. But it says something about that red zone defense because they were getting in field goal range and they could have put up some points, but heck of a defense performance.
Field goals don't win Super Bowls.
A more fun note. What else you got from last night?
All right, Super Bowl. Typically, when it's not a good game or it's some bullshit like we've seen the last 3 out of 5 years, commercials. We had a few people kind of sit it out from like the big company standpoint. They redirected some funds specifically to vaccinations, which I applaud. But I think overall, like we saw some solid commercials. It wasn't Budweiser with the horses or with the dogs, but there were still some decent ones out there. I had one that was specifically that was a favorite. It was Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. I mean, it's Mila Kunis. How could you not want to watch that? And the Cheetos commercial was pretty fucking funny.
Shaggy, right? It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Exactly. I was like, well, when are they going to do You're My Angel? Like, were they going to have a follow-up on that?
Forgot Shaggy had another song.
My wife and I talked about that. Shaggy's not a one-hit wonder. He is a two-hit wonder. That's a different class of artists.
That's another, I think it's a Vice documentary on the whole story behind the It Wasn't Me song. Check that out when you get a chance.
I will have to do that as well.
That was not supposed to be a big hit. I'm not a big commercials during the game guy because now they put them all on YouTube like days before.
Not all of them, but a lot of them. Yes.
And then of course you've got the commercials on YouTube after the game. During the commercials, I'm more of like checking social media, texting the football buddies, doing stuff like that. So I'm not focused on the commercials so much during the game. There were two that I caught that were pretty decent. It was the George Costanza Tide commercial. I mean, anybody who watched Seinfeld had to have enjoyed that one.
That's my face.
And then that's my face. You can't just do that with my face. And then there was the Bud Light Legends one. That one was pretty cool. A little trip down memory lane with that one right there. But yeah, I'm more, I do the little things during the commercials. I get up, I go, get another stack or clean up as much as I can, stuff like that. Pay attention to my son for a little bit. So yeah, but what about the other things? Like, what do you think of the halftime show?
So I like the halftime show. Before I came there, dude, Paramount Plus came hard.
They spent some cash.
They like pre Super Bowl II, and now I want to buy Paramount Plus. So you'll probably see me getting that specifically because I saw they have Reno 911, one of my favorite shows of all time that I could watch over and over and over.
Have you seen the movie?
Yes, I've seen all of the episodes like multiple times over.
The movie is so bad, it's funny.
I liked how they had when they got to the top, they had the SpongeBob Super Bowl actually finally.
Yes,
that was a good one. Anyway. Your question on
halftime.
Dude, I don't understand the hate. Like the Weeknd dropped $7 million of his own money into this because he wanted to do it the way he wanted to do it. I'm mad props, right? And then on top of that, he did a show. He didn't employ the 5,000 plus people it takes to put all the shit together for halftime and take it all apart. He did it on a crew of hundreds of people. And it was good. It was just as good as anything recently, other than Prince. But
yes,
it was good. Prince was a true concert. The Weeknd's was more of a show.
It rained during Purple Rain.
I know. Didn't like his electric guitar
Prince
almost short out.
Pointed that electric guitar to the sky and said, "Jesus, make it rain." No, I know what the hate is, and it's dumb.
It's unfounded.
It's everybody who doesn't like the Weeknd, so they don't go into it with an open mind, and they just shat on it all over social media.
How do you not like the Weeknd?
Like, I'm going, well, you have to talk about, like, who, you have to think of the age, you have to think about the type of person, like, like somebody today, somebody put a George Strait post.
Oh, shut
It's
the
a
fuck
meme,
up.
and it's George Strait, like, hey, when you want a real halftime show, call me. George Strait is amazing. I agree. But that's what I'm saying. It's going to be somebody who loves George Strait.
Are those also the same people that got mad at Garth Brooks for singing at the inauguration?
That is a whole other mad. They're mad at a whole other set of problems.
Those are the same people.
But like, and I saw somebody else, older, she's a known rock fan. So instead of just open-minding it, she just shits all over it, and that's where the hate is. It's like, if you don't like the person, you just shit on it.
But that's the running theme, and it's okay to shit on the Super Bowl halftime because that's the first concert most people have seen in a year and a half.
I'm not a Weeknd fan, but I gave it a solid B+, and the only reason it was a B+ is not a knock on him. I'm doing exactly what but he gets a B+ just because I like when, like, last year there was, it was J-Lo, it was Shakira, it was Bad Bunny. Usually there's other people, and he did a hell of a job for just him. But I get excited, like, when somebody comes on stage that you weren't expecting, or, but it was a solid performance. I thought it was great.
I agree.
And I'm not a big Weeknd. I love that Blinding Light song. That's awesome. Yeah. So I enjoyed that. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I don't like the Weeknd, so it just sucked. And that's what people will do.
Well, I think the Super Bowl halftime performance has a history of people just shitting on it because it's easy to shit on.
I thought the whole thing was good.
I was very pleased. This is my favorite Super Bowl. The game, I know, had its lowlights, but
the game was bad. The game was bad. We haven't even talked about that except for the intro. The game was not exciting.
I thought there were exciting moments. The fourth quarter was gone, but I think when you think about Patrick Mahomes running around and the highlights, I know he didn't catch the ball, but he threw some of the most amazing balls and the most athletic. How the fuck did he did that positions? Like what I talked about earlier when he was horizontal to the ground and hit.
Horizontal, yeah.
What's the name of the freaking head? Like, who makes that pass? If he catches that ball and they win the game, that is the highlight of the game. That might be the highlight of the Super Bowls for the next 10 years. Like the entire narrative changes. But that was an amazing play by Patrick Mahomes. He hit him straight in the face.
Yeah. No, I thought the God Bless America, I thought the national anthem, I thought the president, I thought with the whole show, the whole thing was something that we needed right now, with the COVID going on. And I know there's going to be people saying like, well, why were 25,000 people together in a stadium? They were, and it was great, and it was awesome, and it was the whole shebang, pregame, halftime, everything was cool. I enjoyed it.
You know what my favorite part was, speaking of one of those 25,000 fans? The unithong.
First response?
Unithong streaker.
Here we go. I'm saying first responders. You're saying the thong of the streaker.
It was great, man. He made a touchdown. He made it to the end zone.
I have seen some memes today, and I don't know what to believe.
He broke a tackle like a pro up on.
There was a article, I guess Barstool or somebody put that it was and I have not checked this, but that it was a YouTube prankster's porn site that he was advertising. I saw a meme that he had placed a huge bet that there was going to be a streaker before the game, a prop bet, and that he won thousands and thousands of dollars, way more than his bail. So this guy's already a legend.
Can you call him a streaker, though, if he wasn't naked?
I don't care about that.
These are the finer points that I'm trying to nail down.
You already said that you looked at his ass and you're asking questions like that. I don't know, Dick. I can't.
Well, you don't know Dick, but I do.
I'm trying to make a conversation about a streaker that I can't. Like, this is all I've got. Fuck it.
That was good
all
stuff.
Right,
so, what now that football's over?
Well, we got the early power rankings for next year.
Okay. Talk me through it. I don't have it up.
We've got Kansas City 1, Buffalo 2, Green Bay 3. They're showing no love to Tampa Bay. They're 4.
Because they're all old guys.
True. But tell that to Tom Brady. LA 5, Baltimore 6, Cleveland 7, Seattle 8, San Fran 9, Tennessee 10. And just to get to the home state teams, we're going to scroll down
12.
here to 19. We've got the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, see, I'm looking at a different site. Okay.
This is ESPN's, by the way. And I got a feeling that I'm going to have to go down to 32 to find, yep, there they are.
Shut
the
up.
Houston Texans.
At 32 because of the Deshaun Watson situation.
Yep.
Ouch.
Yep.
So, what do you want to talk about first?
I can't hate on the Texans situation at 32. They've just totally shit on themselves.
And they're apparently not going to trade him. There's so much crazy talk, though, like them saying no. I've also heard that Oakland or Las Vegas is thinking about they put out feelers for Derek Carr. I've heard that the Eagles with the Stafford trade are now getting more and more ballsy. They thought they were going to get like a second round pick, but they're like, hey, for Wentz, maybe you could go to Chicago. Like I've heard like possible Wentz to Chicago, Foles back to Philly.
Yes, I've seen that.
But there are people like that's who needs him the most is Chicago. But there's so many other teams that makes it very interesting. And Wentz could be successful.
There's a lot going on. Apparently, Dak's not getting any closer to a contract.
He had the same offer he had last year.
Yeah.
31.57 or something like that.
That's all in the what I'm looking forward to now that football's over.
All the drama.
The quarterback carousel.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about the Deshaun thing anymore because we will still be talking about this in 5 weeks.
We'll have a special episode whenever the decision gets made.
And we've talked about all the quarterbacks that are just possibly leaving. Who was it? They just said today that somebody was open to talks today for a trade on. Who was it? Another quarterback that you're just like, oh, okay, well, sure, why not?
Derek
Carr. No, I think it was somebody else. I'm trying to think of the untouchables. It wasn't Rodgers. It wasn't
Wilson?
Allen. Yes. There was an article today. Thank you. That teams are reaching out to the Seahawks. So that's what I'm watching. To the power rankings effects, I think. Okay, instead of being boring and just listing the teams that ESPN, obviously Chiefs number one, who's your surprise team next year?
LA. I think if Stafford can get it together with that same team, I think they have more than enough weapons, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. But LA is going to be fun to watch. I'm a huge Stafford fan, man.
I think that's a cop-out. LA, come on. Stafford, that really a surprise?
Well, but you think about how hard it is to get a offense to gel over a season or preseason.
Look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They just won a Super Bowl.
And you just said Tom fucking Brady.
Okay, well.
And they did not play well the first half of the season.
Yeah, whatever. If you're telling me that you're going to be surprised if the Rams are in the Super Bowl next year,
yeah,
I'm going to tell you, don't be surprised.
Okay. You heard it here first. Kurt is picking the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
I did not say that, but I said I'm not going to be shocked. I'm going to go Miami because either way, it's going to be year 2 for Tua.
Oh, you mean year 1 for Watson?
Brian. Okay, let me get to that point, Dick. Another year with Brian Flores, or they're going to have Deshaun Watson, and they're going to be a hell of a lot better. So either way,
that'll be a hell of a team.
I'm going to go with I've said it, and you keep pulling me back into this Watson talk, but out of all the deals out there, I want Watson there. But if I'm in the stands chanting Tua next year, is life so bad?
No, there's an upside there.
All right, we've talked about this. The Olympics are coming up. What's next? What now that football's over? I mean, shit, I guess I can start reading books again and living life, but...
Well, I mean, it's going to be the Olympics. I think the Olympics, as long as they get held, will take us through. We'll have to get into baseball a little bit. Basketball is going to be my big thing, so we're watching a lot of basketball. I did buy the basketball thing.
NBA full court.
Yeah, I did buy NBA full court, so be watching some more basketball and playing some Madden. Wait for next year.
I will watch March Madness. I can't sit here and say I watch baseball games. I'll check out opening day.
Yeah. We'll watch the highlights.
Obviously, having a sports podcast, I probably will watch more baseball than ever this year.
Mm-hmm.
Same with basketball. I don't watch it too much. It's the playoffs. When they get here, I'll sit down and I'll start watching them every evening. Once again,
see, I watch a good amount of basketball.
Yeah. I mean, if it's on, it's on. I'll check it out. But, of course, it's going to be the same thing. You know, if I'm going to get the Rockets games. I'm going to get the game that's on TNT. I'm not going to get a lot of the Sacramento Kings. You know, I'm not going to get a lot of the
Knicks.
Unfortunately. But yeah, the Olympics are exciting. Those are coming up. You know, we'll see how life goes after football. But the free agency stuff will keep me glued to the TV. And basically anything that Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman are talking about on First Take.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like, I've started listening to more and more like sports podcasts, specifically like the big guys like ESPN, etc. As we're watching the Golden State Warriors and Spurs wrap up the game. Spurs are up 103-100 with 8.7 seconds left. Man,
Nice.
Yeah, man. Can't hate a Spurs victory. So, anything else, or do you want to go ahead and move into the what's the tasting notes of this Eagle Rare 10-year?
Let's get going. Let's start talking some whiskey. That's another thing. What, now that football's over? A lot more whiskey. Just talking whiskey.
Take a vodka drink? Nope. Take a whiskey drink. Yep.
Okay. So proof on this.
Yeah, the proof comes in 90.
So the same as Buffalo Trace.
I think Buffalo Trace 95.
No.
You always check me on this.
And I've always said Buffalo Trace is 90.
I think I always want to say Buffalo Trace is 95. But you're probably right.
No, I know I'm right.
Okay. Big shot.
I'm right. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
So that taste is there, that familiar, starts off, you get the vanilla, you feel it, and then it gets a little watered down. But see, there's a difference from watered down and Buffalo Trace watered down. It's a slow drop off. Vanilla, honey. The couple more years in the oak are definitely there.
That's not aggressive, though.
No, in true Buffalo Trace, fashion, you're gonna sip on this for a while, if you can get through the initial heat. Which
I find that heat pleasurable. There's different heats that I don't. When you talk about the alcohol-y versus the proofy, or the ethanol versus the proofy.
Yes. No, and that's, but this is caution to those that invite the newbie over, and you're like, hey, drink my Eagle Rare. Like,
they may not love it. You're right.
Hold on, don't do that to them first. I wouldn't do that. So I wouldn't say take this one as an intro one.
I feel like this is a good bourbon for people like us who have drank a lot of bourbon, don't necessarily always appreciate the lower proof stuff, but this is probably the tip top of the lower proof spectrum of what you're going to get, like, tasting notes wise. Because then, like, for you and I, we love the barrel proof stuff. And that's what we like to get into, because that's where typically you get the more complex flavors. 1792 full proof, Jack Daniel's barrel proof, both the rye and the regular, rare breed, right? So, but this is, you talk about just like good complex flavors.
It's good. I'm having a hard time distinguishing too much of a difference from regular Buffalo Trace, which I would like to have had a glass right here in front of me to have done that. But then again, I don't, because I wanted to give Eagle Rare the full attention.
I think Eagle Rare, I'm going to use the term...
Sweeter?
It's sweeter. It's smoother. Buffalo Trace can be more aggressive on the front end, specifically when you talk about the non-store picks. I think that palette that they put together has more of a cinnamony bite to it, if you will.
I can see that, because I'm not getting a lot of cinnamon on this one.
No, it's more like vanilla, creamsicle, almost a creamsicle, but vanilla, creamy, buttery. There's a little bit of like citrus there, and I think that's some of the burn, but there's not heavy oak. It's nothing aggressive. It's nothing that is offensive, and I think it's all of the good things that are bourbon, minus I could use some more cinnamon spice.
Very random before we grade these. Without doing a blind, this or Blanton's?
This. Okay. I've always liked this better than Bland's. I think Bland's is good. I've never knocked the juice. I've just knocked the hype. It'll make me really sad if Eagle Rare gets up to that Bland's.
I was going to say, I think it's going to, unfortunately.
But they're different price points, right? Like MSRP wise, Blanton's is a $60 bottle. This is a $28.99 bottle.
Well, it's like moving your way down the list. If I can't get my hands on this, I think that's what eventually
sure.
Rare has turned into.
Yeah, I at the same time, like if you said you want would you rather have a Buffalo Trace store pick or Eagle Rare non-store pick? I'd probably take a Buffalo Trace store pick, to be honest with you, because the store picks can be really, really good. We just saw the Bourbon Junkies do a 5 blind on 4 different store picks in a non-store pick Buffalo Trace, and I've done a blind on Buffalo.
What won that one?
No, I did. What won that one? All of the store picks. So out of 5 on the Bourbon Junkies, their non-store pick got 4. So this regular
Buffalo Trace got 4.
Your Buffalo Trace regular non-store pick got 4.
And then so the rest were Buffalo Trace store picks?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that's been my experience, too. Like, Buffalo Trace short pick can be amazing. And I think that's why there's so much hype with it. Now, if someone's like, oh, I've got a Blanton store pick, bitch, it's a single barrel no matter what. All right? It ain't that special. Like,
Calm down, Dick. Take your time back.
You said this is going to get more of a whiskey podcast. We got into summer, so.
Give me your grade on the taste.
The taste, A-, right in there.
Oh, man, I just had a big gulp that was delicious.
Why, you're drinking a big gulp and Eagle Rare at the same time? Come on.
No, I had a big gulp of Eagle Rare, dumbass. Oh, it gets sweeter with the... That's good. That is good.
This is atypical, like the Chimenea or the fire pit. When it's nice and cold outside, and just sip on this and just talk shit with
That's
a buddy.
any whiskey there, buddy. I'm gonna go.
Oh,
B+.
you're not, you some bitch.
I'm gonna go B+ because
I feel like you're just saying B+. I feel like you're saying B+ because of the hype. You finally got to find some way to knock it.
No. Let me give B+ is a very good grade. I mean, you're talking about my A's are like, it is.
She's so beautiful.
Logo. Yeah,
she's so beautiful.
Let me get to my final grade before we let you fucking
beat your ass
me on on the podcast. Let's talk more whiskey. Let's keep it going. So you wanted to talk. You got with me and said, we've done like every day, or let's do five categories, what you should have at your home. We
got to list it up. And I like to list it up.
Yes. And these are bottles that the newbie can go get right now. This isn't something that you have to get on a list. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for a certain time of the year. You can go grab these right now.
Yep. Yeah.
I like it.
And the reason why is because I feel like there's this semi-annual, maybe even quarterly exercise that I think most podcasts or YouTube things go like, oh, we're going to do a list of the top 5, the top 10. And we're going to do that too, because your taste changes, your palates change, new stuff hits the market. And this is really my recommendation, where if I'm going to Eddie, right, who we had on a few podcasts back, and I bought him a series of bottles, like, you need one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these. Yes. And this is how you get started. But this is what I have. I have these.
Yeah, and these are, you'll see them do these. You'll see them do these lists, but they start getting into the like, okay, this one's not so easy to find. Okay, this one is a little more pricey. These are, you can go to the store and get right now.
And we'll give you the average price on each one of these.
Yes.
What you should pay for it. Don't pay secondary.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick. Did you see that Smoke Wagon's owner came back and barred his products from the secondary market?
I saw that on Instagram. Is that a real thing? Can he do that?
He can't do that per se, but he has basically said to every whiskey selling community out there, I don't want my stuff sold on the secondary market. And if you do, and I catch you, I will not sell to you.
Good for him.
And so a lot of the mods are taking it like, okay, this is what this, because this is about the whiskey community. Like, he doesn't want it sold. Buffalo Trace kind of looks the other way on it and never addresses it, but he's actually addressing it. And if allegedly a lot of these mod groups, and we're on a few of them, if they see you doing it, they will ban you.
Did he share a meme where somebody put a Karen wig on him and was like the Karen of the secondary market, and he shared it?
I love it though. Like, I fucking hate the secondary market.
That's good.
I love that he's a champion. That makes me like his juice that much more.
We are becoming Smoke Wagon fans big time. All right, so give me the 5 categories.
All right, so the way I thought about this is we could have gone a lot deeper, but if I'm starting out and I want to experience the breadth of whiskey, specifically bourbon, well, there's one that's on bourbon on here, but that I'm going to recommend is you need a bottled and bond. Dan and Sean did a whole thing about bottled and bond, what does it mean, and the 297 regulations that go onto it. But essentially, you're looking for something that's 4 years or older, age stated, bottled in a bonded warehouse, and is 100 proof.
Can I maybe be a little bit of a whiskey Karen with bottled and bond?
Sure, go for it.
You think bottled and bond mostly an advertising gimmick?
Do I think
Just
it's an
to
advertising
slap
gimmick?
that on the label?
I don't think it's an advertising gimmick. I think it's an ode to history.
Okay.
And I don't think it's hard to do, but when you see bottled and bond, it goes back to not advertising, but more consumer protection. And I like that.
It's at least 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be 4 years.
It doesn't have to be 4 years.
So if you're like a 7-year-old whiskey, 8-year-old whiskey, and you want to throw that little bottled and bond in there just to say, hey.
You've got to start off as like saying, I'm making a bottled and bond whiskey, though. Like there's processes, and I oversimplify it. I drill it down to 3 or 4 specific factors, but to Dan and Sean's point, there are a list of requirements, technically by law. By the 18...
Yeah, there's the broad ones, 100 proof, 4 year.
Right.
Okay.
I think
I feel like that's always the one that's kind of, these other ones, a rye, cast strength, daily drinker. That's
a rye until you're like, oh, is it a rye?
Yeah. Okay. That was a little whiskey talk. Just like, you start seeing these bottle and bonds popped up.
I like the fact that we still do bottle and bonds. So the first one is bottled and bond. The second one, to Kurt's point, is a rye. The next one, we're going to go a little bit high proof on you, barrel proof or cast strength or barrel entry proof, whatever it may be. And then a daily drinker. And then something special. So those are my 5 categories. We're going to walk through each one and give you just a thought or two on each one and then a rough price point.
Okay, so bottle and bond. Mm-hmm. As I was a fun sucker for a little bit.
I love it when you're a fun sucker. It makes me feel better about myself.
That's true too. I could have easily gone Evan Williams here, but I wanted to change it up, and I figured I was prepared with another one just in case, because I knew you were going to go Evan Williams at early times. So I went, which I will be reviewing this bottle in the next episode. I'm pretty sure, because I had to buy it again, and if you saw our Instagram, I'm not going to give everything away, but you can easily get the George Dickel Blue Label bottled and bond 11-year-old. There's several on Total Wine shelves. $31. I don't want to give too much away, but it's worth being in your bar as a bottled and bond, or Broken Saddle. That's another one that you can go into specs and you can grab. But Evan Williams could have easily been on here, but I'm going to recommend those for bottled and bond. The George Dickel bottled and bond, which we've done several mentions of before. There was the 13-year-old. There was the whiskey of the year. I wanted to taste it again to see if it was good. The 11-year-old was as good as I had the first time. I'll leave that for the episode. Dick, what do you got for bottled and bond?
So there's not a huge selection, right? So there's not many people who are doing bottled and bond, at least within the craft whiskey industry. But what you're going to find is I'm an Evan Williams guy, bottled and bond all day, every day. But Kurt has kind of turned to the corner for me. I really do think that early times bottle and bond is heavily underrated. It's probably getting more of a cult following, but you get like the great like sweet red cherries. You get the nanners on there. Like, it is a good whiskey. It'll get you in trouble real quick. I tell you what, it'll sneak up on you. It does not get proofy on you, at least in my experience.
It grew on me because it was.
I liked it from sip one.
Yeah, it was one of those that I don't know what was going on the first time. It is 100 proof, so it's not that much where you have to warm up a little bit, but it has I've killed 3 bottles since we had that conversation.
I'm on my second bottle, and it's $23. I mean, it's a 1 liter, so it's hands down. How much does that Broken Saddle running you, or the Dickel?
The Dickel was 32.
32. And there's a couple other ones out there. There's Henry McKenna. I talked about that in the last one. Honestly,
but that one you're not walking in and getting every time.
No, you're not getting. Old Forester 1897 I haven't had. I think you have. Have you? Or did you have the Statesman?
So it's funny you mentioned that. I had Old Forester 1870, the original batch. And then for some reason, because I'm an idiot, I got confused when we talked about it on the show, and said that I had the 1897 or whatever you mentioned. Which I guess, is that their bottled and bond?
That's their bottled and bond, yeah.
Okay, see, I didn't have that one. So when I was dogging the 1897, so this is why you got to listen to all our episodes.
We have a history.
I was actually talking about their 90 proof 1870, which I was not a fan of. And then I went on to have the 1910 and totally love it. So,
well, and that's crazy. Like, so 1910 is 93 proof, and we love 1920. Like 1920 is a hitter. But there's three here now I'm going to list. Like, there's other bottled and bonds. 1897, I haven't tried, but I want to now. If you can find the 1792 bottled and bond, it's got the yellow label on the neck. I like 1792 products. And then I just was looking up a couple. Dude, Jack Daniels has a bottled and bond.
I believe it. I don't know what it would look like if you were to show it to me.
It's got a black label with a gold piece on the front of it and it just says bottled and bond. I might have to try it.
But is that something that you're going to walk into the store and get right now?
No, it's not. These are not. I mean, honestly,
So keep it off the fucking list, Dick.
I'm not putting it on the list. I'm just creating conversation with our listeners, Kurt.
You're making me a liar about everything I just said before.
No, you're not. I didn't say I recommend it. I'm saying early times bottled and bond. Next category.
All right. Moving on. What do we got next?
Rye.
All right. Rye? Okay.
Rye nut.
That's my joke. Why the fuck did you take that from me?
It's mine now, bitch.
You know what I'm saying here. There's no reason to even ask me. Our listeners that have listened to us know what I'm going to say here.
No, because you're a basic bitch.
And it's basically delicious.
It is.
Oh, that was what is that, Lucky Charm? I wonder if they're delicious. Or was that tricks? Fuck.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Either way, you don't sound Irish, so.
Oh, fuck you. Pardon me, Arsh. It's Sazerac Rye all day, every day. This is what I'm gonna suggest. This is the. I don't like whiskey. Okay, we'll try this because it's sweeter and it's freaking good. And I've not had one person come back to me and say I didn't like it.
I could not agree with you more. I think Sazerac Rye is one of the unsung heroes. We sing it, but others don't. The hard thing with Sazerac for me, man, is that I see it so often that I don't ever grab it, but I hear people like not be able to find it, and I'm like, fuck, I want to kind of stash it, but I don't because I want to be that guy. One thing I haven't seen though is the Fat Boy Sazerac Rye bottle. It just looks so funny. I have to have it because it's a Fat Boy and it's got the skinny neck on it. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I've seen that in person either.
Oh my god, it's huge. I've only seen it once. It's like huge.
Just when I look down.
So weird. Huh?
Just when I look down.
All right, so mine is going to go off the reservation to Utah. I'm going to go with the High West Rendezvous Rye or the Double Rye. Any of their ryes are good. If you can find the specialty finished ones, which is a black label, it's got the little tag on the side of it, tells you it's like a aged 24 months in a port barrel or port cask barrel, whatever it is. It's a great flavor profile. I've never run into one I don't like, and I've had half a dozen. Highly recommend it, man. I think it's a fun experience every time I get into ryes.
Ryes are good.
Ryes are good. There's a lot of. Yeah, I don't know that I've had a rye that I didn't like.
Yeah, no, you're right. You have your Whistle Pig. Whistle Pig's one of those I think that people love it or people think it's just
overpriced.
Okay.
It's always overpriced though.
I know the 6-year was kind of a miss for some people because of the price. What? That's the Whistleback or the
Piggyback.
Piggyback, the clever name.
Yeah, 6-year. I don't hate it. I've had it.
I've had a James Pepper Rye, the 1776, that was very good. That may be one that I need to go back to. But yeah, you're right. And if you're, wondering why do I try rye, it's just going to be sweeter. It's going to be sweeter, spicier.
Yeah, the rye spice is definitely a turn on for a lot of people.
Said it before, good with the old fashions.
I agree with you there. We keep talking about the classics. You got Old Overholt. Gut Sazerac, of course. Knob Creek makes a rye. I've never had it. The one rye I really want to get, and I actually want to get into their single barrel as well, now that I've had 291, is a New Riff. So I haven't been able to get my hands on that, but they do make a rye as well.
You did pique my interest with New Riff. The one that I would like to try.
They have a bottled and bond rye.
They have a bottled and bond rye? Who makes that?
New Riff.
Oh, nice. The Sagamore ryes, I've seen those all over the place. I have not had that yet. I've had Wild Turkey rye. Not bad. I took it to a wedding. We killed it. It was delicious. Not rare breed. I'm talking about just straight up Wild Turkey
Yeah,
rye.
the green. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into our heavy hitter of the segment. Barrel proof, cast strength. It'll be called a bunch of different things depending on how they exactly do it, but we're typically looking for something that's over 115 up to 130 plus proof. If it's barrel proof, that means it's the proof that it goes into the barrel at. If it's cask strength, that means it's the strength that it comes out of the barrel at. There's a couple other terms for it. Full proof, 1792 is full proof. That's the
Diesel.
yeah, exactly. But you're typically looking at something. It's a much heavier hitter. Pour a shot, and you're probably going to feel it a lot faster than you would pouring 2 shots. So, Kurt, what about you, man? What you got?
So this one could be, if we didn't have 2 different categories, I could put this one as my daily drinker. Because this one is, I'll usually always have a bottle of this, and that's Maker's Mark Cast Strength. I love it. I've said it.
I'll say it again, damn it.
I had it at I had it at dinner a couple weekends ago, a socially distanced dinner. I think it was Thanksgiving, so it wasn't weeks ago, it was months ago. But sure enough, another family member was like, "Oh, what are you drinking?" "Oh, it's my Maker's Mark Cast Strength." And they took a drink, and they were like, "Holy shit, this is good." So that was another confirmation that it's, I love, Maker's Mark Cast Strength. So that's going to be my daily, go grab it, give it a try. And the funny thing is, you will, every time somebody posts it on one of the forums, it's always like, here's that underrated bottle. Oh, here's the one that people don't give enough credit to. It's that kind of stuff. And I'm right there with them. I love it.
Yeah. I don't think you can go wrong there either. I do love the fact that you talked about having a socially distanced dinner, and yet you still let someone drink out of your glass. Great job there, Kurt.
I poured them a glass in a disposable cup that was saran wrapped with a metal straw for the environment.
Good job. You just saran wrap in a plastic cup. You make the
shit out of the bottle.
So for me, mine's going to be probably the hardest to find on this list. I'm going to go with the Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof. And this is the gold label. I've only been able to find a 375 lately, not the full 750. I do owe Kurt a 375. I have not forgot, based off of our
I did, so thank you for reminding me.
Ohio State Northwestern game prediction. So that's on my list. And I really love that bottle, man. It was a lot like the rye. Some of the great tastes of like oakiness and bitter chocolate and a little bit of sweet chocolate in it. It was a hell of an experience, and it was the bottle for me that kind of made me go, fucking Kurt was right. Jack Daniel ain't all that bad. Old Number 7 I'm not going to drink, but the rest of the lineup is pretty solid from what I've had.
The dark side.
Yeah.
I told you I had Old Number 2, right?
Was that after a morning of drinking coffee?
No, there's a Old Number 2, and I had a glass of it. It's pretty good stuff. I mean, it's your typical Jack Daniels, but I had it at a bar the other day, and I'm like, what's that label on there? And he goes, "Oh, that's number 2 that that accidentally got shipped to me." And the guy who gave it to me said it took him down a whole rabbit hole on the internet of all the Jack Daniels products, and I got to shoot the shit with him, which you'll start doing once you start learning more about whiskey. It's the Master Distiller Series. I've got a picture of it pulled up right here. I'm trying to zoom in to give you more specifics, like on proof and things like that, but it was actually decent. It looks like, and I hate this because I'm trying to zoom in and I can't get a good zoomed in picture.
As we hear Kurt try to zoom on his laptop.
Yep. Limited edition. 43% by volume. So we're talking what, like a 90. God dang it. Just give me some regular fucking. Anyway. So yeah, I had Jack Daniels number 2.
Thanks for that, Kurt. Appreciate it. The next bottle for me from Jack Daniels is going to be the Sinatra edition. So as soon as I can find that, I'm buying it. All right. So that kind of rolls us into our fourth item here, the daily drinker. Well, let's double back. Maker's Mark Cask Strength. What is that going to run you?
So the Sazerac rye is going to be the $28 to $30 range, going back to the rye. On the Cask Strength Maker's Mark, you're looking at 40.
Okay, so the High West Double Rye is going to run you that, or even the Rendezvous Rye is going to run you 40, 45. Jack Daniel Barrel Proof, the 750 is going to run you a little, probably about $60. But the 375 is right about $35, and I think for the strength and for the pour, definitely worth it. All right, so let's go on the daily drinker. What you got, Kurt?
So daily drinker, like I said, would be the Maker's Mark Cask Strength. This one, I kind of did a Mr. Miyagi. I closed my eyes and I just let my fingers type what I thought I wanted to type. And I went with the Elijah Craig small batch. I think that's a good, solid daily drinker. I think that's also for a newbie. That's an impressive bottle to have at the house, at the bar. And it's really good stuff. I mean, we've talked about our love for the Elijah Craig products. But yeah, that one you can go and buy right now. And if you want to start off with a damn good whiskey, that'd be the one to do it with.
I think I've actually grabbed a bottle of that based off your recommendation. All right, so for me, I'm going to go a little bit different direction. It's something that's new to the market and new to me. I'm going to go with a Luxco product, which, reminder, was recently purchased by MGP. So if you haven't already bought stock, do so now. It is Ezra Brooks' new Ezra Brooks 99. So this comes in at 99 proof and not a bottled in bond, but we're talking like same kind of hit points there. It's really good. I'll be honest, it's $28 for the 750. Just tasting notes right off the bat. I mean, it's got all the really typical nutty Ezra Brooks products you're gonna get, but like bubblegum and peanuts on the dough or on the palate, man. So I really like it. It's something I'm probably gonna keep as a daily drinker.
Good stuff. Gonna have to try it. All right, so now the next one, I believe the last one, something special, correct?
Dun dun dun. Yes, sir.
So this is the one that, douchebags will say, "Oh, I've got Johnny Walker Blue."
Oh, fuck Johnny Walker Blue.
That's the one that, there's that guy, oh, I got the best of the best.
I know. I do a podcast with him.
Yeah, no, don't you fucking say that, but. I don't know who I turned into there, but the best of the best.
I can name one of our friends.
The Johnny Walker Blue.
What did one of your friends text you a picture of that he just happened to pick up?
Recently?
Yeah, you texted it to me.
Are you talking about the one yesterday?
Yeah.
That was a bottle of Blanton's and Jack Daniels Barrel Proof.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got a bottle of Blanton's. I'm the best.
Oh,
so
God.
Cool.
You're such a hater. I couldn't be that guy to crush his dreams. He's a newbie, man. He's trying.
He has no idea what he has his hands on, though.
But there, you know who I'm talking about. The person who's like the bottle of the blue. Anyway, so this is your specials. You don't have to spend $300 on a special bottle that's not fantastic, like Johnny Walker Blue. These are going to still be pretty pricey, but.
Before we go there, what do you think of Johnny Walker Blue? I'm fucked with you. I really don't care.
It is not $300 worth. I will tell you that.
It's horseshit.
And I've ran into the occasional work parties where there's the one guy who, and this is not Johnny Walker Blue's fault, but I've actually gotten into conversations where, no, it's the best. It's the best. It's $300, man. Come on, I spent $300. That's not the point. But anyway, that's my
still
rant.
a blended Scotch.
That's my Dick Blanton's type rant. But what do you got for me, Dick?
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay.
Sure.
So we're gonna kind of like call this category, like 100 to 150 ish, right? You might be able to get a little bit cheaper. My non-bourbon out of this group is something I keep in my bar. I love this whiskey, Lagavulin 16. Like, it is leather, peatiness, amazingness. Like, if you're talking about like peaty scotches, like Islay scotches, this is the cream of the crop. People argue with me, that's fine, but I think if you're looking for something that's not overly iodine-y, band-aidy, this is going to be that nice neutral place where you can really be happy.
So you let me shit on a scotch, and then you pick a scotch. Good talk.
Well, I let you sit on a blended scotch, and this is a not blended scotch.
Got it. Nerd. So this one's tough because there's so many that I'm thinking about, but I'm sticking true to what I said. You can go and you can buy it. This is a special bottle that maybe you finish every 4 months, go buy another, maybe not even 4 months, maybe every 6 months, special occasions.
You have a lot of special occasions.
So, God. And I'm looking at what I typed. And what I have is Kentucky Owl Rye. And unfortunately, Kentucky Owl Rye stays on the shelves for a lot of the wrong reasons. They tend to be overpriced. Would you agree, Dick?
Yes.
So, I think you can go into the store and find a Kentucky Owl product because they're going to be there. But the one time I took a shot and I pulled the trigger and got Kentucky Owl Rye, I was not disappointed. It was delicious. It's phenomenal. I would pull the trigger once. Go get a Kentucky Owl. Because then you're talking about that something special. So you're talking about the story. And of course, those listening are like, oh, the hype, the price. You get something special. You get to, I did it. People came over. I told them, hey, this is a pretty pricey bottle. Gave them the story behind it. Showed them the cool looking label. We had a good time. We enjoyed it. It lasted me a while. So, I would go, and a couple of Kentucky Owl products were even on those bottle of the year lists that we saw. So it is overpriced, but I'm not telling you to go. And I know I just said pick a bottle that you get every couple months. It is available to do that. I don't know if you would want to do that, but I would have Kentucky Owl.
I don't think it's a bad choice. I think Kentucky Owl's getting a lot more love lately when it comes to the whiskey reviewers too. Now, let me do one final sway on my Lagavulin 16. If you're like, I've heard of that, or I don't know, I don't know if I want to get the scotch. Nick Offerman loves it. They have a Nick Offerman edition. If you've ever watched Parks and Rec, that's what he drinks. If you want to be a man, drink Lagavulin 16. And on to the gold line.
Rating of the glass, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I missed it. All right, Kurt. So what are you going to rate this thing overall?
I'll give it an A. I will give it an A.
Look at you coming back from the depth. You realize it's more than an A minus, right?
Yes, I do.
I don't know if you've been around a teacher lately, but that's how grades work.
Thank you. I'm used to D's. So
D's nuts.
No, it was very good. It's not A plus, and the A plus and the B could have got over. And I'm fighting myself because I'm still in my head going back and forth between A minus and A. But I'm going to give it an A because it has the Buffalo Trace taste. It has the flavors. It's pretty solid.
It's got a sick bottle.
And if I'm getting so picky as to where if I'm doing it's a 94. Like, it's 94. It's close. So I've got to give it that A. So I'll do that for you.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you, man. Like, this is an A all day for me. Like, if you said, all right, so you get more taste out of this 90 proof than you do the Henry McKenna recently reviewed, which is a bottle that MSRP is going to be twice the cost and 10 points higher in proof. This is a much better taste than Henry McKenna. And we're talking about Henry McKenna bottled bond. They're both 10-year bourbons. I would recommend this any day over that.
And that $28 is what gets me to the
MSRP. Yeah.
Really, yeah.
$28.99, $30, $32. Pay upwards of $35. You could pay $40 for this and not be mad. So
nice.
All right. So let's go ahead and get across that goal line.
Alrighty. So thank you again for listening. We went over our Super Bowl, post-Super Bowl edition, gave you all our thoughts on the game, everything from pre-game commercials to the game itself to the, legendary status of Tom Brady. We talked about 5 whiskeys, 5 categories that you should be able to get in your bar, especially if you're wanting to broaden your whiskey horizon and get going, get things rolling. We're looking forward to what's going in the episodes ahead. We talked about some of the things that we'll be watching, and then we'll be definitely regurgitating back on the podcast. So let me hand it over to Dick, lay the socials on you that now include a like by the Terry Bradshaw. I don't know if I mentioned that already.
You did, but definitely worth a second one there, Kurt. So, Drammers.
I know I did.
So, Kurt, really just to echo what you already said, thank you, Drammers. You are some beautiful, beautiful sumbitches. We love that you listen to our podcast. And if you're new to the show, don't go anywhere. If you're not able to listen to our podcast, you can always follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 4th Dram and Facebook at 4th Dram and Goal. And then also hit us up at 4thdramandgoal.com. If you just want to kick it old school and email us, we got 4thdramandgoal@gmail.com. We're always there. Tell your friends about us. Tell your coworkers about us. You're going to be on those Zooms. You got nothing to talk about in that awkward 2 minutes before everyone calls in. Tell them about the 4th Dram. You want 2 guys talking shit, drinking whiskey, and talking sports, and you got a buddy at work this guy might be into it. Tell them about it. Follow us on your favorite podcasting apps, Apple Podcasts, Audible, CastBox, Podcast Addicts, and Spotify. And without further ado, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Kurt for our quote of the episode.
You knew it was going to be by him. You knew it was going to be from the GOAT.
Biden?
And I may have even said this quote before, but I don't care. It would be from none other than the GOAT, Tom Brady himself. He says, I think sometimes in life, the biggest challenges end up being the best things that happen in your life. Words to live by, words to continue going on. Grab a glass next time, listen to us, hang out. Thank you for joining us. To the next snap and to the next dram.
Drink on, Drammers.